behind the temple of Seti I is this amazing structure, the Osirion, which is about 50 feet lower and which was covered in sediment until the early 1900s. My suggestion is that Seti I, and I'm not the only person to make this suggestion, that Seti I indeed did know that temple, and he did put some inscriptions in that corridor, but I don't think he built it at all. I think it belongs to a much earlier time and to a very different style of architecture, a megalithic style of architecture that we do find elsewhere in Egypt.
There was a Spanish traveler who crossed the entire width of South America. And on the way, yes, he reported seeing huge cities. Within 100 years, other Spaniards were in there exploring. They couldn't find the cities. I think that we are dealing with a lost civilization that was shamanistic in its basis. And they're only being found now.
Deep in the high, rugged terrain of the Sacred Valley, the Temple of the Sun at Ollantaytambo stands as a marvel of ancient engineering. The temple's most awe-inspiring feature is undoubtedly the wall of the 6 monoliths, composed of enormous stones weighing tens of tons each. The mystery of how these massive stones were transported to such an elevated location without modern technology continues to baffle scientists, historians, and archaeologists alike.
Some people think that the answer is extraterrestrial visitors. I don't think that's the answer, but who knows?
While theories abound, from the use of log rollers and ramps to the sheer force of human and animal power, the exact methods remain a subject of speculation and admiration.
Incredible megaliths there, which archaeology gives entirely to the Incas, even though the Incas themselves recognized and honored the work of predecessors.
The discovery of the Temple of the Sun in Ollantaytambo within the Sacred Valley is a proof to the blend of local wisdom and global scholarly interest that has illuminated many Incan sites to the world. This particular site's journey into modern awareness began in earnest during the 19th century and gained significant momentum from the explorative zeal of the early 20th century. Notable figures like Hiram Bingham, known for bringing Machu Picchu to global attention in 1911, played a crucial role in setting the stage for the exploration, even though he wasn't directly involved in its discovery. The first detailed accounts emerged from the efforts of explorers like Sir Clements Markham in the late 19th century. These early explorers documented the Inca trails and their connecting sites, marveling at Ollantaytambo's grandeur and intricate stonework while noting its potential significance. By the 1920s and 1930s, more thorough expeditions were conducted. Both Peruvian and international teams worked to catalogue the ruins using early photographic techniques, which helped to create detailed records that would prove invaluable for both restoration and further study.
If you wish to pass information to a distant future, you wouldn't be smart to just write it down. How can we know that our script is going to be readable by any other culture, let's say 10,000 years in the future?
The mid-20th century brought a surge of archaeological interest that introduced more scientific methods to the study of this ancient site. Beginning in the 1950s, archaeological teams started applying rigorous scientific techniques to their excavations, notably during the 1960s under the direction of American archaeologist John Rowe. His work was pivotal in contextualizing Ollantaytambo within the broader narrative of the Inca Empire's expansion and religious practices. These teams made significant technological advances, employing early photographic equipment and, later on, more sophisticated imaging techniques to analyze the alignment of the temple's stones. This was especially important for understanding the temple's role in relation to astronomical events, such as the solstices, which held considerable significance in Inca cosmology.
On the summer solstice, you're going to see the sun rising far to the north of east. Go there on the winter solstice, you're going to see it far to the south of east.
The local Quechua communities also played an essential role in the rediscovery and understanding of the Temple of the Sun. Their oral histories and legends, passed down through generations, spoke of the temple's celestial alignments and its role in Inca rituals. These stories often provided the missing links in understanding the site's function, highlighting the significance of specific stone placements and their relationship to Inca astrology. On many occasions, local stories guided archaeologists to specific parts of the site that had been overlooked or misunderstood. For instance, the legend of the Path of the Sun helped researchers identify and understand the importance of certain architectural lines that align with the sun during the winter solstice, further enriching our understanding of this magnificent site.
That advanced civilization emerged out of shamanism itself. Shamans are very observant of the cosmos and of what is going on.
Continuing our exploration of Ollantaytambo's fascinating features, let's delve into the marvel of the Wall of the Six Monoliths. This structure is a stunning testament to Inca engineering and architectural skill, comprising 6 massive stones each carved with incredible precision. The craftsmanship is so meticulous that the joints between the stones are practically invisible, often said to be so tight that not even a piece of paper can slide through. The construction process of this wall was no small feat. The Incas employed sophisticated stoneworking techniques honed over generations. The stones, sourced from quarries several kilometers away, required a complex logistical effort to transport. While the exact methods remain a subject of debate among historians, theories include the use of log rollers, llamas, and substantial human labor. Upon arrival at the site, these stones were shaped with great care to fit together seamlessly, using a technique known as ashlar masonry, which involves cutting stones to fit without the need for mortar. This not only enhanced the wall's aesthetic and structural integrity, but also its resilience against the region's frequent earthquakes. Understanding the geological and architectural principles was crucial for the construction of such a structure. The Inca builders meticulously selected types of stone for their durability and resistance to weathering. The strategic alignment and interlocking of the stones added to the wall's stability, effectively distributing seismic forces across the structure rather than concentrating them at any single point. Adding to the mystique of the Temple of the Sun is its status as an unfinished monument. The construction was abruptly halted, marked by a chaotic scene where tools and materials were left scattered around the site. Large, partially carved stone blocks still lie around the site, painting a vivid picture of a sudden and dramatic cessation of work. This snapshot in time provides a unique window into the Inca construction techniques and the meticulous planning that characterized their building processes.
Is knowledge preserved and passed down through the ages? Yes, I think it is.
To truly appreciate the enormity of the Wall of the Six Monoliths, consider that each stone could weigh as much as 50 tons. This scale is comparable to the weight of 10 large African elephants or about 35 compact cars. Such comparisons not only highlight the ingenuity of the Inca builders, but also help us grasp the sheer scale of their architectural achievements. While exploring the impressive architectural feats of the Incas, another fascinating element at Ollantaytambo is the water mirrors near the Temple of the Sun. These reflective pools serve as a testament to the Incas' refined engineering and deep astronomical knowledge. Crafted to manipulate natural elements for both practical and ceremonial purposes, these water mirrors showcase a profound understanding of the environment. The design of these water mirrors was both ingenious and purposeful. The bases were made of flat, smooth stones polished to a high sheen, enhancing their reflective properties. The edges of the pools were lined with precisely cut stones, ensuring the water remained still and perfectly mirrored the sky above. The primary function of these mirrors was to observe and track celestial bodies, aiding the Incas in determining critical agricultural and calendrical periods. Such observations were vital for the timing of crop plantings and harvests, as well as for setting the dates of various religious festivals and ceremonies. The Incas demonstrated advanced hydraulic skills in constructing these water mirrors. They expertly channeled water from nearby rivers or springs through a complex system of aqueducts, ensuring a continuous flow into the mirrors throughout the year. This capability highlights their profound mastery of water management, which was essential for the functionality of the mirrors. The importance of these water mirrors came to light again in the late 20th century when they were rediscovered during a detailed archaeological survey. Covered by overgrowth and filled with debris for centuries, the mirrors were largely forgotten until the 1990s. Archaeologists using ground-penetrating radar and traditional excavation techniques found anomalies in the soil that led to the uncovering of these structures. Restoring them posed significant challenges. The process involved delicate procedures to clear the vegetation and debris without damaging the ancient stonework. Specialists in stone conservation were tasked with repairing cracks and replacing missing stones, using materials and techniques that matched the original Incan craftsmanship. An interesting parallel can be drawn between these Incan water mirrors and the Roman impluvium, water features central to Roman atrium houses designed to collect rainwater. While both cultures utilized architectural features involving water for practical purposes, the Incas took it a step further by integrating their water mirrors into their spiritual and astronomical practices, significantly differing from the Romans' primarily domestic use. This comparison highlights not only the universal human fascination with reflective surfaces in architecture across different cultures, but also the unique adaptations of such features to meet specific cultural needs and beliefs.
I think that the city of Tiwanaku is one of the most mysterious sites in the world. In a way, it's the New World equivalent of Giza. It's a site about which there are far more questions than answers. All these names that are given to structures at Tiwanaku are entirely arbitrary because we know nothing about the people who built Tiwanaku.
Imagine a civilization capable of constructing massive stone structures with such precision that even modern engineers are left baffled.
God knows how anybody got it up there at 14,000 feet above sea. I can even breathe at 14,000 feet above sea level.
Welcome to Tiwanaku and Pumapunku, ancient sites near Lake Titicaca in Bolivia that have sparked intense debate and fascination. Were the Tiwanaku people wielders of advanced technology, or is there something more mysterious at play in these enigmatic ruins?
Tiwanaku is a very controversial site, and archaeologists would like it not to be much more than 2,000 years old.
Dive into the mysteries of these ancient marvels and explore the theories that challenge our understanding of pre-Columbian history. Tiwanaku is an ancient archaeological site situated near Lake Titicaca in western Bolivia. This site was the heart of the Tiwanaku Empire, a highly advanced civilization that thrived between 300 AD and 1000 AD. Renowned for their impressive architectural and engineering achievements, the Tiwanaku people developed intricate agricultural systems and maintained extensive trade networks that stretched across South America. Their civilization is considered one of the most significant pre-Columbian cultures in the region, leaving a legacy that continues to captivate historians and archaeologists.
The handiwork of humans is clearly evident in this site.
The first European accounts of Tiwanaku came from Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century. Chroniclers like Pedro Chiesa de Leon provided early descriptions of the monumental ruins they encountered, speculating about the origins of these impressive structures. These initial reports highlighted the grandeur and mystery of Tiwanaku, sparking curiosity and interest in the site for centuries to come. In the late 19th century, the first detailed studies of Tiwanaku began to take shape. American archaeologist and diplomat Ephraim George Squire visited the site in 877, meticulously documenting the ruins through detailed descriptions and drawings. His work provided valuable insights into the architectural complexity of Tiwanaku. Around the same time, French explorer Charles Wiener also documented the site, contributing further to the growing body of knowledge about this ancient civilization. These early efforts laid the foundation for ongoing research, ensuring that Tiwanaku remains a vital subject of archaeological study and discovery.
We're going to see more physical evidence for this, more as time goes by.
The key structures and features of Tiwanaku are as fascinating as they are monumental. One of the most significant structures at the site is the Acapana Pyramid. This large terraced mound stands approximately 16.5 meters high and spans a base area of around 200 meters by 250 meters. The pyramid's design is thought to emulate a sacred mountain, reflecting the religious and cultural importance placed on such natural formations. To prevent water damage and erosion, a sophisticated drainage system was integrated into the pyramid. This system included a network of stone-lined channels and underground conduits that efficiently diverted rainwater away from the structure, showcasing the advanced engineering skills of the Tiwanaku people. The pyramid's terraces were constructed using a combination of large stone blocks and compacted earth. The stone blocks were precisely cut and fitted together without the use of mortar, demonstrating the builder's high level of craftsmanship. Another remarkable feature at Tiwanaku is the Kalasaya complex, a large rectangular enclosure surrounded by high stone walls. The enclosure measures approximately 130 meters by 120 meters. Within the Kalasaya complex stands the famous Gateway of the Sun, a massive monolithic archway carved from a single block of andesite stone. The Gateway of the Sun is about 3 meters high and 4 meters wide, with an estimated weight of 10 tons. The intricate carvings on the gateway include depictions of deities and astronomical symbols believed to be related to the Tiwanaku calendar and cosmology. These carvings highlight the Tiwanaku people's advanced understanding of astronomy and their integration of celestial events into their religious practices.
There's curious astronomical alignments at Tiwanaku. The site was aligned to the summer solstice in 10,500 BC.
Equally impressive is the semi-subterranean temple, an imposing sunken courtyard measuring about 28.5 meters by 26 meters. One of the most distinctive features of this temple is the collection of carved stone heads embedded in its walls. These heads protrude from the walls at various heights and angles, representing a diverse array of facial features. Some scholars suggest that these heads symbolize different ethnic groups or important individuals, reflecting the Tiwanaku civilization's diversity and social complexity. Similarly fascinating is Pumapunku, another marvel of the Tiwanaku civilization. Pumapunku was known to Spanish explorers in the 16th century, just like the main Tiwanaku site. However, it wasn't until the 20th century that modern archaeological efforts brought significant scholarly attention to Pumapunku. Systematic excavations and studies began in earnest in the mid-20th century, revealing the site's unique architectural style and the mysterious techniques used in its construction. The stone blocks at Pumapunku are particularly renowned for their extraordinary precision. The primary materials used are andesite and sandstone, both known for their durability and hardness. The stones are cut with such exactitude that the joints between them are virtually invisible, so precise that even a razor blade cannot fit between the stones. The exact methods used to cut and shape the stones at Pumapunku remain a topic of debate and fascination. Several theories have been proposed to explain the precision and complexity of the stonework. One prevalent theory is that the Tiwanaku people used metal tools made from bronze or copper alloys. These metals are capable of cutting softer stones, but the hardness of andesite presents a significant challenge. However, evidence of bronze and copper tools at other Tiwanaku sites supports this theory. Some stones show marks consistent with the use of chisels or other cutting tools, suggesting that the builders had access to and effectively utilized metal tools. Another theory posits the use of abrasive materials like sand and water to cut and shape the stones. This technique involves rubbing sand and water against the stone's surface to gradually wear it down, potentially explaining the smooth surfaces and precise angles observed at Pumapunku. Large grinding stones could have been used to smooth and polish the stone surfaces after the initial cutting, further contributing to the precise fit of the blocks. Some researchers propose that the Tiwanaku civilization possessed advanced technologies or techniques that have since been lost. This theory suggests they might have had knowledge of sophisticated methods or tools that we do not fully understand today. A fringe theory, popularized by some alternative history proponents, suggests that extraterrestrial beings assisted the Tiwanaku people in constructing Pumapunku.
Some people think that the answer is extraterrestrial visitors. I don't think that's the answer, but who knows?
While this theory captures the imagination, it is not supported by mainstream archaeology and remains speculative. One of the most iconic features of Pumapunku is the presence of H-shaped blocks. These blocks are a testament to the advanced engineering and architectural skills of the Tiwanaku civilization. The H-shaped blocks interlock in a modular fashion, suggesting they were designed to fit together in a specific configuration. This modularity indicates a highly planned and sophisticated approach to construction. The H-blocks vary in size, but many are approximately 1 meter high and wide, with a depth of about half a meter. Each block weighs several tons, with some of the largest estimated to weigh over 10 tons. Creating these H-blocks would have required advanced stone-cutting techniques. The precise angles and smooth surfaces indicate a high degree of craftsmanship, pointing to the use of advanced tools or methods. Another fascinating aspect of Pumapunku is the transportation of its massive stone blocks. Some of these blocks weigh over 100 tons and were transported from quarries located several kilometers away. One widely accepted theory is that the Tiwanaku people used wooden sleds to transport the large stone blocks. These sleds could have been pulled by large groups of workers, leveraging human muscle power. The use of log rollers beneath the sleds could have facilitated the movement of the heavy stones. As the sled moved forward, workers would have placed logs in front of it, continuously rolling the sled over the logs. Given the absence of large domesticated draft animals in the region during that period, it is more likely that large teams of workers, organized and coordinated, performed the task using simple machines like levers and inclined planes to aid in lifting and moving the massive stones. The Tiwanaku civilization likely mobilized a substantial labor force with coordinated efforts similar to those used in other ancient construction projects, such as the building of the Egyptian pyramids. Some theories propose that Lake Titicaca, which was larger and closer to the site during the time of the Tiwanaku civilization, could have been used to transport the stones by rafts. This method would have involved floating the stones across the lake before moving them overland for the final leg of the journey. The use of earthen ramps is another plausible theory. Ramps could have been built to gradually elevate the stones to their intended positions. This method would have required significant labor and planning, but is consistent with techniques used by other ancient civilizations. Simple machines such as levers and pulleys could have been employed to lift and position the stones. These tools, combined with ramps, would have allowed the Tiwanaku builders to achieve the precise placement required for their structures. The precision stonework at Pumapunku is often compared to the masonry of the Egyptian pyramids, particularly the Great Pyramid of Giza. Constructed around 2580 to 2560 BCE, the Great Pyramid consists of millions of limestone blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons. The precision of the blocks and the alignment of the pyramid with celestial bodies reflect advanced engineering and architectural knowledge. Similar to the Great Pyramid, Pumapunku's stone blocks are meticulously cut and perfectly fitted together. The precision seen in both sites suggests a high level of planning and execution, pointing to the possibility that both civilizations had advanced knowledge of construction techniques and tools, although the exact methods remain debated.
It's been said in many, many different cultures around the world that a lot of these structures were built at a very rapid pace. So you're talking about calculus, you're talking about geology.
Yeah.
I mean, how did they know how to build this? We're talking about something, in my opinion, super ancient. But these sites are all really majestic and super ancient.
Today, we're diving into one of the world's most enigmatic archaeological mysteries, the Bada Valley megaliths. Nestled in the lush landscapes of central Sulawesi, these ancient stone structures have baffled experts for over a century.
But this is thousands of years and it's still sitting there perfect. I bet if you fill it with water, the water wouldn't even leak out of it.
Who built these colossal statues and stone jars? What secrets do they hold about a forgotten civilization? Join us as we uncover the mysterious origins and fascinating theories behind these remarkable relics. Located in the Lor Lindu National Park of central Sulawesi, Indonesia, the Bada Valley megaliths first came to the attention of the Western world through the efforts of Dutch colonialists in the early 20th century. During a 1908 Dutch military expedition, Dr. Nicolaas Adriani and Dr. Albertus Christian Cruyt documented these remarkable stone structures. Their meticulous reports and photographs marked a pivotal moment in the scholarly exploration of these ancient artifacts. Dr. Adriani and Dr. Cruyt were not merely military explorers, but also seasoned ethnologists with a keen interest in the cultures of Indonesia. Their documentation included detailed descriptions, measurements, and photographs, which were essential in preserving the initial data about the megaliths. These early records remain a valuable resource for researchers today, as many of the megaliths have since weathered and eroded. Their efforts sparked a wave of academic curiosity that has continued for over a century, although the remote location and challenging terrain of the Bada Valley have limited extensive archaeological studies.
Nobody honestly knows who did the work. We simply know that it was an ancient civilization that obviously had advanced technology.
The origins of the Bada Valley megaliths are shrouded in mystery. No written records or definitive oral traditions link these structures to a specific culture or time period, leaving their creators and purpose open to interpretation. This absence of concrete historical context has led to a multitude of theories, each offering a different perspective on these enigmatic stones. Determining the age of the Bada Valley megaliths has proven challenging. Some researchers estimate that the megaliths could date back as far as 2000 BCE, based on stylistic comparisons with other ancient Southeast Asian artifacts. Others argue for a more recent origin, proposing that they were created around the 14th century CE.
All of these places are likely pre-cataclysmic, so at least 13,000 years old.
The primary difficulty in dating these structures lies in the lack of organic material associated with them, which precludes radiocarbon dating. In the absence of direct dating methods, researchers have turned to indirect clues. For example, the weathering patterns on the stones suggest they have been exposed to the elements for many centuries. Additionally, the tools and techniques required to carve such hard stones indicate a sophisticated level of technology that was not commonly available in the region until later periods. Despite these efforts, the precise timeline of the megalith's creation remains elusive. A unique and particularly fascinating aspect of the Bada Valley megaliths is the presence of a megalith known as Lanke Bulawa. This particular megalith is not only one of the largest, but also features detailed carvings of human-like figures. The intricacy of these carvings suggests a high degree of skill and artistic expression. One intriguing theory about the Bada Valley megaliths proposes that they were created as part of a complex system of territorial markers and spiritual waypoints. According to this hypothesis, the megaliths were erected by a prehistoric culture to demarcate important areas such as tribal boundaries, sacred sites, or routes used for migration and trade. This theory is supported by the strategic placement of some megaliths along ancient pathways and near water sources, suggesting they may have served both practical and ceremonial purposes. An interesting comparison can be drawn between the Bada Valley megaliths and the Moai statues of Easter Island. Both sets of megaliths are characterized by their large carved stone figures, which display a remarkable level of craftsmanship and effort.
He actually speculates that they were able to temporarily turn the stone into a form of plasma.
However, while the Moai are primarily found along the coastline and oriented towards the sea, possibly serving as guardians or representations of ancestors, the Bada Valley megaliths are scattered throughout a lush inland valley. This contrast in placement and presumed purpose highlights the diverse ways in which ancient cultures utilized and interpreted their monumental stone creations. The Bada Valley megaliths are renowned for their diverse shapes and sizes, reflecting a variety of forms and functions. These ancient stone structures can be categorized into several types, each with its unique characteristics and presumed purposes. The craftsmanship involved in creating these megaliths indicates a high level of skill and a deep cultural significance. The statues, or arca, are anthropomorphic megaliths that often resemble human figures. They range from crude, roughly hewn shapes to more refined and detailed representations. Typically, these statues depict heads with prominent facial features including eyes, noses, and mouths. Some statues also include arms and other body parts, adding to their lifelike appearance. The most famous of these statues is Palindo, which stands approximately 4.5 meters tall and weighs several tons. Palindo is one of the largest and most well-known figures in the valley, characterized by its distinct facial features and overall grandeur. The name Palindo means the entertainer, suggesting a possible ceremonial or cultural role. Other notable statues include those with less defined features, indicating a range of artistic expression and possibly different time periods or cultural phases. The kalamba are large cylindrical stone jars, believed to have served various purposes, including as urns or water containers. These jars are meticulously carved from single stone blocks and vary significantly in size and design. Some kalamba are over 1 meter in diameter and can reach heights of 1.5 meters or more. A unique aspect of these jars is that some have lids, while others do not. The lids are often as carefully carved as the jars themselves, indicating their importance. The kalamba jars sometimes feature intricate carvings and motifs, which may include geometric patterns or symbolic representations. These jars are thought to have been used in burial practices, possibly as urns to hold the remains of the deceased or for ceremonial purposes involving water. Their size and craftsmanship suggest they were significant items, potentially used by high-status individuals or in important rituals. Stone basins and bowls of varying sizes are another significant category of the Bada Valley megaliths. These structures often feature intricate decorations and motifs, which may provide clues about their usage and cultural importance. Basins and bowls range from small handheld sizes to large immovable structures that could hold significant amounts of liquid or other materials. Some of these basins are intricately decorated with carvings that include geometric patterns, animals, or symbolic motifs. The creation of the Bada Valley megaliths would have required sophisticated techniques and tools, as well as a well-organized workforce.
So what happened to all these tools?
Whoever did the work came, brought the technology, and then took the technology with them somewhere.
The megaliths are carved from hard stones such as granite and basalt, which would have been sourced from local quarries. The initial quarrying process involved separating large stone blocks from bedrock, likely using a combination of chiseling, hammering, and possibly heating and cooling techniques to create fractures. Once quarried, the massive stone blocks would have needed to be transported to their final locations. This would have involved a significant logistical effort, likely utilizing wooden sledges, rollers, and possibly animal or human labor to move the stones across the valley's challenging terrain. The fine carving and finishing of the megaliths were achieved using a variety of stone tools, including chisels, hammers, and grinding stones. The precision of the carvings, especially on the harder stones, indicates the use of advanced techniques and considerable skill. Some megaliths feature intricate designs and motifs that suggest the use of finer, more specialized tools for detailed work. A unique and particularly fascinating fact about the Bada Valley megaliths is the presence of a megalith known as Lanka Bulawa. This structure is a large stone slab with a carved human figure lying prone. One interesting theory posits that the Bada Valley megaliths were part of a vast interconnected network of megalithic cultures that spanned Southeast Asia. This theory suggests that there was significant cultural exchange and communication between these ancient societies, which shared similar techniques, artistic styles, and possibly religious beliefs. The spread of megalithic structures across this region may reflect a shared heritage or influence, hinting at a much more interconnected prehistoric world than previously thought. A compelling comparison can be made between the Bada Valley megaliths and the stone carvings of the Olmec civilization in Mesoamerica. Both cultures produced large, anthropomorphic stone statues with distinct facial features, although separated by vast distances and different historical contexts. The Olmec heads, known for their detailed and expressive facial features, bear a stylistic resemblance to some of the Bada Valley statues, particularly in the emphasis on facial expression and scale. This comparison underscores the universal human inclination to create monumental art and the possibility of convergent cultural evolution in different parts of the world.
As society got more advanced in this time, it seems we have less and less dependence on astronomy. Why would astronomy play as big of a role in them where everything is pointing to X, Y, and Z stars?
Well, first of all, let's consider what we mean by advanced. What is an advanced civilization? Are we really an advanced civilization? That is one of the mistakes in looking for a quote-unquote advanced civilization in the past, is that we tend to be looking for ourselves.
Nestled in the verdant landscape of County Meath, Ireland, Newgrange stands as one of Europe's most enigmatic prehistoric monuments. This ancient passage tomb, part of the larger Brú-na-Bwan complex, is renowned for its precise alignment with the winter solstice sunrise.
On the summer solstice, you're going to see the sun rising far to the north of east. Go there on the winter solstice, you're going to see it far to the south of east.
Constructed over 5,000 years ago, Newgrange has captivated scholars and visitors with its mysterious origins, intricate megalithic art, and its dual role as a ceremonial site and burial place. Its discovery and study have peeled back the layers of Neolithic society, revealing their engineering prowess and deep spiritual and astronomical understandings.
And that's why we get the astrological ages. Again, mainstream science sneers at these things.
Interestingly, while Newgrange was known to the local population of the Boyne Valley, it didn't capture the attention of scholars and historians until much later.
To think that somebody was here 5,000 years ago, I think it must be as close to immortality as you could hope to get to.
The journey of rediscovering Newgrange began before the scholarly world took an interest, when it was merely part of the local folklore and agricultural landscape. It wasn't until the late 17th century that it started to draw scholarly eyes, notably through the works of Sir William Wilde in the 19th century. Wilde, better known as the father of playwright Oscar Wilde, was an accomplished antiquarian who documented various archaeological sites across Ireland. His works laid the groundwork for future explorations, though the most pivotal moment for Newgrange came in 1699 during an everyday activity: road construction.
A lot of archaeology that gets done doesn't get done because of a targeted search. It may be because a dam is being built or a new highway is being built.
The landowner, Charles Campbell, needing stones for building a road, directed his workers to the large mound on his property. As they dug into the mound, they unexpectedly broke through to a main passageway, unveiling the entrance to what they would soon realize was an ancient passage tomb. This accidental breakthrough led the workers to explore the inner chambers and passageways, where they discovered human bones and possible grave goods, suggesting that the site was used as a burial ground. These initial, albeit informal excavations began to reveal the megalithic art and the structural complexity that Newgrange housed.
I can't help thinking time capsule, that there was an intention to preserve this.
Recognizing the potential importance of the site, Campbell made initial records of the discoveries. However, these records were quite rudimentary and didn't capture the full archaeological value of the site. As word spread, Newgrange began attracting visitors and curiosity seekers by the early 18th century, turning it into an early form of a tourist attraction. These early tourists left behind accounts that provide a valuable perspective on the site's condition and the public perception over the centuries. The rekindled interest in Newgrange had a significant impact on the study of Neolithic Ireland, leading to more systematic studies and eventually to the extensive excavations carried out by Michael J. O'Kelly in the 20th century.
First of all, Professor, how did this great big stone and so many of them get up here?
Many of these big stones were lying about on the land surface since the end of the Ice Age.
An interesting comparison can be drawn between the rediscovery of Newgrange and the uncovering of Pompeii in 1748, where workers constructing a palace for the King of Naples accidentally stumbled upon the remains of the city, buried since 79 AD by volcanic ash from Mount Vesuvius. Both discoveries, made during routine construction, opened windows into ancient civilizations, offering unprecedented insights into their daily lives, spiritual beliefs, and practices. However, while Pompeii provides a snapshot frozen in time, Newgrange offers a glimpse into a far older, less understood epoch spanning several millennia, bridging our modern world with the deep past of ancient societies. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of Newgrange, it's clear that this ancient site holds more than just historical significance. It serves as a testament to the evolutionary journey of archaeological interpretation itself. Beginning in the 19th century, Newgrange started to capture the scientific imagination thanks to its enigmatic allure and the intricate carvings adorning its stones. Early archaeologists and antiquarians meticulously documented the site, establishing a detailed record of its dimensions, carvings, and overall structure. These foundational studies were pivotal in beginning to understand the complex nature of this prehistoric monument. Initially classified as a passage tomb in the early 20th century, a typical Neolithic structure characterized by a circular mound with a long, narrow passage leading to a central chamber, Newgrange aligned well with other similar European structures based on its architectural features and the human remains discovered within. However, modern interpretations have suggested a broader role for Newgrange, hinting at its function as a ceremonial or ritual site due to its elaborate construction, astronomical alignments, and extensive use of symbolic artwork. This suggests that Newgrange might have served multiple communal purposes throughout the centuries, far beyond its initial categorization as merely a burial place. The mid-20th century brought about a transformation in our understanding of Newgrange, spearheaded by Professor Michael J. O'Kelly's groundbreaking excavations from 1962 to 1975.
We have a quite new and intriguing problem to solve. Perhaps next year when we can excavate farther into the mound.
His extensive and scientifically rigorous work systematically revealed the structural integrity and design of the site, showing how the Neolithic builders expertly constructed the mound and its internal passages. Among his most notable discoveries was the winter solstice illumination, a phenomenon where the sunrise on the shortest day of the year illuminates the main passage and chamber through a specially designed roof box. This discovery confirmed that Newgrange was precisely aligned with astronomical events, indicating a sophisticated understanding of solar movements by its builders. However, O'Kelly's restoration efforts, particularly the reconstruction of the white quartz facade, stirred both acclaim and controversy. While these efforts aimed to protect and stabilize the structure, some critics argued that they might not truly reflect the site's original appearance. Despite these debates, O'Kelly's work has been crucial in preserving Newgrange for future generations and maintaining its status as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. An interesting theory that has emerged about Newgrange is its potential role in shamanic practices.
That advanced civilization emerged out of shamanism itself.
Some scholars suggest that the intricate carvings inside the tomb, especially the spirals and other geometric motifs, could represent shamanic visions or cosmological maps.
Shamans are very observant of the cosmos and of what is going on in the cosmos.
According to this theory, Newgrange might have served as a sacred space where shamans entered trance states, with the winter solstice light acting as a catalyst for celestial journeys or communication with the ancestral spirits. The site features a unique architectural element known as the roof box, ingeniously designed to allow sunlight to penetrate the passage at sunrise on the shortest day of the year. This small aperture is strategically positioned to catch the first rays of the sun as it rises, illuminating the inner chamber in a breathtaking display of ancient precision. The significance of this event extends beyond its architectural marvel. It lasts approximately 17 minutes and is believed to have held profound ceremonial importance for the Neolithic community. Scholars suggest that this phenomenon might have symbolized the rebirth of the sun, heralding a new year and promising renewal for the community. It likely served as a moment of social and religious reawakening, reinforcing the community's connection with the cosmos and marking a time of celebration and reverence. Today, the allure of Newgrange during the winter solstice continues to draw crowds from around the globe. A lottery system is now in place to manage the number of visitors who wish to experience the solstice from inside the chamber, highlighting the enduring spiritual significance of this ancient observance. The experience offers a unique glimpse into the past, allowing modern visitors to connect with the astronomical achievements of an ancient civilization. Notably, human bones found within the chambers suggest that Newgrange was used as a burial site, though not uniformly across all chambers. This selective usage adds to the mystery of Newgrange, indicating it may have served multiple functions, possibly as a final resting place for important members of the community. Drawing a parallel with another marvel of ancient engineering, the Egyptian pyramids, particularly the Great Pyramid of Giza, we see a similar integration of astronomical knowledge into architectural design. Like Newgrange, the Great Pyramid is precisely aligned with celestial events, thought to have been oriented with the pole star of the time, Polaris. This alignment not only underscores their function as tombs or temples, but also as calendars or astronomical observatories, embedding the movements of the sun, moon, and stars into their structures. Both Newgrange and the Great Pyramid stand as testaments to the advanced astronomical understanding of their builders, bridging the earthly and the divine in their monumental designs.
This is our planet, beautiful planet from a Russian satellite as it looks today, but it hasn't always looked like that. How can we possibly get to grips with our past if we don't take account of the fact that we've lost 10 million square miles of the record?
The discovery of Easter Island by European explorers is a story filled with intrigue and remarkable historical details. It was the Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen who first came upon Easter Island on a quest for the mythic southern continent. His arrival on the island, which coincided with Easter Sunday in 1722, led to its modern name. Roggeveen, commanding a fleet of 3 ships, the Arend, Tienhoven, and Afrikansche Galie, was the first to document the mysterious Moai statues and the island's sparse vegetation. The statues, massive and imposing, puzzled Roggeveen and his crew, who wondered about the methods the islanders used to transport these colossal figures, given the apparent lack of sufficient timber or robust ropes. The name Easter Island reflects a common practice of the time, naming newly discovered lands based on significant events or days, which also expanded European maps of the Pacific and fueled further exploration and eventual colonization of these remote areas. Easter Island's discovery not only marked a major geographical milestone, but also piqued European interest in the Pacific Islands. Easter Island's extreme remoteness is one of its most fascinating aspects. Located in the southeastern Pacific Ocean, it is one of the most isolated inhabited islands on Earth. The original settlers, the Polynesians, were skilled navigators who likely arrived around 1200 CE. This isolation had a profound effect on the island's ecology and culture. Initially rich in flora, human settlement led to significant deforestation, altering the island's ecological balance. Over centuries, the isolation shaped a unique cultural evolution, marked by distinct architectural and artistic achievements, including the creation of the moai. These statues were not merely artistic expressions, but were integral to the social and religious life on the island, embodying ancestors and serving as protectors of the communities. Moreover, the island's location made it an ideal place for astronomical observations. The Rapa Nui, like other Polynesians, were adept at celestial navigation, using the stars to guide their way across vast oceanic distances. This skill underscores the significant navigational capabilities required to reach such a remote destination and maintain a society there. A comparison that highlights the extent of Easter Island's isolation involves Tristan da Cunha in the South Atlantic Ocean. Like Easter Island, Tristan da Cunha is extremely remote, located over 2,400 kilometers from the nearest continent, Africa. However, Easter Island's isolation is even more pronounced, with its closest inhabited neighbor, Pitcairn Island, over 2,000 kilometers away, and the nearest continental point in Chile nearly double that distance. This comparison not only emphasizes the vast distances involved, but also the remarkable navigational skills that allowed the Polynesians to settle and thrive on Easter Island, profoundly shaping its unique cultural and ecological development through centuries. The moai statues of Easter Island are not only a testament to the island's rich cultural heritage, but also stand as some of the most iconic archaeological features in the world. These statues were primarily carved from volcanic tuff, a type of compressed volcanic ash sourced from Rano Raraku, a volcanic crater which doubled as a quarry. This material, though softer and easier to carve, required delicate handling to avoid damage. The native carvers used tools made from a harder type of rock, basalt, known locally as toki, to shape these magnificent figures. The diversity in size and design of the nearly 900 moai is striking. They range from modest figures about 1 meter tall to towering giants that reach up to 10 meters and weigh over 80 tons. Some of the unfinished statues at the quarry suggest that the moai could have reached even greater sizes, with the largest estimated to be about 21 meters tall. These statues were not just isolated pieces of art, but were typically mounted on stone platforms called ahu, which lined the island's coastline. Far from mere pedestals, these ahu were sacred sites, often embedded with burial chambers for the elite, and were central to the spiritual and communal life of the Rapa Nui people. Interestingly, not all moai face inland. While the majority do, overseeing the villages and supposedly watching over their inhabitants, some face the ocean. This orientation may have had different symbolic or practical purposes, such as marking territorial boundaries or serving as navigational aids. The most spiritually significant aspect of the moai was their eyes, made from coral with either obsidian or red scoria pupils, inserted only during special ceremonies to imbue the statues with mana, a spiritual force believed to protect and benefit the community. These imposing figures represented the deified ancestors of the Rapa Nui, believed to provide spiritual strength and maintain a connection with the spirit world. More than mere representations, the moai were considered actual embodiments of these ancestors, imbued with a potent presence. The construction and erection of these statues likely served a competitive function among the island's various tribal groups, with leaders, known as ariki, sponsoring these statues to establish and legitimize their authority and to demonstrate their ability to mobilize community resources. Moreover, the moai played a significant role in unifying the island's population, with shared religious beliefs and communal participation in their construction and transport reinforcing social cohesion and cultural identity. It is enlightening to compare these statues to the colossal heads sculpted by the Olmec civilization in Mesoamerica. Like the moai, the Olmec heads were massive stone sculptures representing human faces, carved between 900 BCE and 400 BCE. These heads are believed to portray rulers or other significant figures, fulfilling roles of political or religious symbolism similar to those of the moai. Despite being created by cultures separated by thousands of kilometers and many centuries, both the moai and the Olmec heads underscore the universal use of monumental statuary to express power, authority, and religious significance across disparate human societies. This comparison highlights the remarkable ways in which different cultures have utilized monumental sculpture to convey and preserve their legacies. The Moai statues of Easter Island are not only a testament to the island's past civilizations, but also a window into the impressive capabilities and daunting challenges faced by the Rapa Nui people. These iconic statues were meticulously carved from volcanic tuff, a material sourced from the Rano Raraku quarry. Artisans used basalt stone tools to carefully outline and then gradually detach the moai from the rock face, a painstaking process that could span months or even years depending on the statue's size. Transporting these colossal figures to their final resting places on the island's Ahu was an engineering feat that continues to fascinate historians and archaeologists today. Several theories have been proposed about how the Rapa Nui might have moved the moai. One theory suggests the use of wooden rollers, which would have required significant deforestation. Another posits that the statues were placed on sledges that slid over logs or greased wooden tracks. However, perhaps the most captivating theory is that the statues were walked to their locations using ropes in a rocking motion, a method supported by recent experimental archaeology. These experiments have successfully demonstrated that a replica moai could be moved by a few dozen people using ropes, providing evidence that this could explain the minimal wear on the bases of transported statues and the absence of extensive drag marks. As the demand for larger and more statues grew, the environmental impact became increasingly severe. The extensive use of wood for transport methods contributed to deforestation, exacerbating soil erosion and reducing the island's capacity to build canoes, essential for fishing and transportation. This environmental strain, coupled with intense social demands to build and transport these massive figures, likely put considerable stress on the social fabric of the island, intensifying competition among clans and leading to conflicts and warfare. The situation worsened with the arrival of Europeans in the 18th century, who brought with them diseases to which the Rapa Nui had no immunity. This, along with the removal of some moai by European explorers and colonists, severely impacted the island's demographic and cultural landscape. Amidst these challenges, an interesting theory emerged suggesting that the construction of the moai was a form of ecological overreach. This theory posits that the competitive construction of ever larger statues led to unsustainable practices, such as the overharvesting of essential natural resources. This ecological overreach may have triggered a vicious cycle of environmental degradation, resource shortages, social upheaval, and population decline, serving as a stark reminder of the potential consequences when cultural ambitions clash with environmental limits. This narrative underscores the delicate balance between cultural achievements and ecological sustainability, a balance that, once lost, can lead to the decline of an entire civilization.
Well, hello from the Giant's Causeway on the north coast of Northern Ireland, where we have some incredible breaking news for you. Unconfirmed reports that the giant Finn McCool has gone into winter hibernation. There was the unmistakable sound of snoring coming from within the mountain.
Through the winter time, of course, he's hibernating. Sure, don't all mythological creatures hibernate through the winter?
Did ancient giants once roam the rugged coasts of Northern Ireland, meticulously constructing what we now admire as the Giant's Causeway? This stunning formation, comprising thousands of interlocking basalt columns, captivates with its geometric perfection and mystifying origins.
They're finding these giant geometrical earthworks and evidence of very large populations.
While scientific explorations attribute these awe-inspiring structures to volcanic activities, local legends and ancient tales suggest otherwise, hinting at colossal figures sculpting this landscape.
I have heard more stories about giants, and I have found that there is support for this.
As we delve deeper, parallels with other enigmatic megalithic sites, such as the colossal Baalbek stones, stir the imagination.
This is called the Trilithon. Each of these 3 blocks weighs 900 tons.
Could there be a grain of truth to these myths? Join us as we explore the blurred lines between myth and geology at the Giant's Causeway, a place where history and folklore dance delicately on the edges of reality. Nestled on the rugged northeast coast of Northern Ireland in County Antrim, the Giant's Causeway is a breathtaking natural wonder, celebrated not only for its geological uniqueness, but also for its deep roots in local mythology.
This is biology. The size of these creatures it's staggering.
Formed from a volcanic fissure eruption some 50 to 60 million years ago, during the Paleocene epoch, the causeway consists of roughly 40,000 interlocking basalt columns. These columns are predominantly hexagonal, although there is a fascinating variety in their shapes, with some exhibiting 4, 5, 7, or even 8 sides. This variety adds a unique character to the causeway's overall appearance, making it a subject of interest not only for tourists, but also for geologists and nature enthusiasts. The allure of the Giant's Causeway is magnified by the legendary tales of Finn McCool, or Fionn MacCumhale, a giant renowned for his strength and wisdom, who is said to have called the Antrim coast his home. According to Gaelic mythology, Finn was once challenged by the Scottish giant Benandonna. Rather than shrink from this daunting adversary, Finn constructed the causeway across the North Channel as a means to meet his foe without the peril of the sea.
Finn started throwing boulders into the sea, creating a rocky bridge where Benandonna resided.
This act of engineering is depicted as a monumental feat, showcasing Finn's resourcefulness and might. The tales take a humorous turn when Finn, realizing Benandonna's imposing size, relies on his wife Una's cunning to save him. She disguises Finn as a baby, and when Benandonna sees the size of the infant, he flees in terror, destroying the causeway behind him to prevent pursuit.
If that was the size of the baby, just how huge was the father?
This clever twist not only highlights the wit often celebrated in Irish folklore, but also underlines the cultural significance of storytelling in understanding and preserving history. Drawing an interesting parallel, the causeway shares thematic elements with Norse mythology's Bifrost, the burning rainbow bridge that connects Midgard, the realm of humanity, to Asgard, the home of the gods. Both structures, whether connecting lands or realms, symbolize significant passageways in their respective mythologies, embodying themes of challenge and transition. Today, the Giant's Causeway stands as a major tourist destination, attracting visitors from around the world who seek to immerse themselves in its natural beauty and legendary tales. It plays a pivotal role in the cultural heritage of Northern Ireland, embodying a blend of humor, bravery, and cleverness, key traits cherished in Irish folklore. The enduring popularity of these legends ensures that the mythical and natural heritage of the Giant's Causeway continues to inspire awe and pride, bridging the gap between the past and the present. The Giant's Causeway, steeped in local myth, gradually made its mark on the broader European consciousness of natural wonders, thanks to Sir Richard Bulkeley's pivotal 1692 presentation to the Royal Society. This presentation marked the inception of the scientific exploration that would span centuries, exploring the intriguing natural formation on the northeast coast of Northern Ireland. Sir Richard Bulkeley, a member of the prestigious Royal Society and a fellow at Trinity College, Dublin, played a crucial role in introducing the Giant's Causeway to the scientific community. Though the specifics of his presentation are not well documented, his mention of the causeway was clearly intended to spark curiosity and scientific investigation. This early academic nod was instrumental, paving the way for the causeway to be studied under the emerging scientific methodologies of the Enlightenment, attracting the attention of geologists and natural philosophers.
I want to know what else is going to be found that hasn't been investigated yet at all. We're just touching the edge of a huge mystery.
The 18th century saw a burgeoning scientific interest in the natural world, with the Giant's Causeway becoming a focal point of study. The unusual basaltic columns drew scientists, prompted by Bulkeley's mention, to theorize about their origins. This period was marked by significant debates, notably between Neptunism and Plutonism. Neptunism posited that the rocks had formed from minerals crystallizing in the oceans, suggesting that the causeway's columns were sedimentary deposits. In contrast, Plutonism argued these structures were the result of volcanic activity, where molten basalt cooled and contracted to form the hexagonal columns. Championed by James Hutton in the late 18th century, Plutonism eventually won out and is now the accepted explanation for the formation of the Giant's Causeway. Turning our gaze to a similar marvel, Fingal's Cave on the Scottish island of Staffa offers a compelling parallel to the Giant's Causeway. Both are characterized by strikingly similar hexagonal basalt formations, and both are steeped in connected folklore. Fingal's Cave is said to be named after the same giant linked to the Causeway. This shared geology and lore have spurred theories of a possible geological bridge once connecting Ireland and Scotland, highlighting not only the shared natural wonders, but also the rich cultural ties between the two regions through their legends. This comparison deepens our appreciation of how geological formations can weave together the fabric of myths across lands. Fingal's Cave on the uninhabited island of Staffa is a place where geological wonder meets literary inspiration. Its discovery by the modern world came in 1772 when Sir Joseph Banks, already famed for his voyage with Captain James Cook, explored the cave. During his tour of Scotland, he was struck by the natural architecture of the cave. Banks's vivid descriptions in his letters and journals captivated the British public and intellectuals alike, spreading its fame far and wide. His portrayal helped cement the cave's status as a natural wonder, drawing artists, writers, and eventually tourists, especially during the popular Grand Tour period in Europe. The name Fingal's Cave owes its origin to James Macpherson's literary work, which claimed to translate ancient Gaelic poetry, although it was later debated and considered largely his own creation. Nonetheless, the popularity of these poems romanticized Scottish history and added a mythical quality to the cave, linking it with the hero Fingal. This association not only named the cave, but also framed it within a narrative of heroic deeds and a mystic past, reinforcing it as a symbol of Scottish pride and identity. The cave itself is a geological marvel, formed through the cooling and solidification of lava. This process starts when a large lava flow cools uniformly, causing it to contract and fracture into long, symmetrical columns, mostly hexagonal in cross-section. This phenomenon is not only rare, but also visually stunning, contributing significantly to the cave's fame. Inside, the cave's structure is grand and cathedral-like, standing about 72 feet high and stretching around 270 feet back into the cliffs. The roof arches naturally, and the floor, partially submerged, is constantly washed by seawater, enhancing the cave's eerie and mystical sounds. Moreover, Fingal's Cave is renowned for its extraordinary acoustics. The structure of the cave, combined with the rhythmic sounds of the ocean, creates a haunting soundscape that echoes against the basalt columns. This auditory feature significantly influences the cave's allure and has inspired numerous artists, playing a crucial role in the cave's artistic legacy. Through its natural beauty and the echoes of its columns, Fingal's Cave continues to be a source of fascination and inspiration, weaving together the strands of nature, myth, and art.